Up with KREM begins now.
7 o'clock on your Friday morning. Spokane parks were hit hard by the 2021 windstorm, and the damages are still aplenty throughout our area. I spoke with the City of Spokane's Parks Department about how they plan to restore the damages left behind.
We now know who the two people were that died in the windstorm on Wednesday. One of them was a pediatrician at Shriners Hospital.
The oldest church in Coeur d'Alene has been damaged by a fallen tree. We were there yesterday to see it lifted off, so coming up, we'll hear from them.
All right, well, after spending more than one day trapped underground, miners are safe this morning in North Idaho. We have new information coming up right here on Up with KREM.
And we've got a little bit of a freezing rain coming down at the airport. I'll let you know who has chances of a slick commute this morning.
7:01 now. Welcome to Up with KREM. Great to have you with us on our Friday morning. We finally made it to Friday.
That's right.
I feel like it's been a really long week for all of us, but hey, we're here and we've made it. So thanks for being with us. I'm Jen York alongside Joshua Robinson. This morning, much of the region is picking up after this week's windstorm. So we begin this morning with team coverage.
Yeah, Nicole Hernandez is live this morning along with our own Tim Pham joining us, surveying all of that damage. Dana Marie McNichol joining us with the latest news of the day, and of course Jeremy Legoo in house to let us know what that 3-day weekend has in store. Jeremy, what can we all expect as we head out the door today?
Well, today it's a bit of a mixed bag early on, especially when it comes to Spokane. Parts of town are starting to see a little bit of a freezing rain come down. Others are still dry early on this morning, and it's all about those temperatures. We're down near or below freezing across much of the inland northwest. And as we see a light round of showers kind of working its way on through, some areas will pick up a light coating of freezing rain. Not much, but enough to create slick spots in a few areas. So that's something we are keeping a very close eye on. A bulk of that moisture is going to stay south of Interstate 90. It looks like Spokane might have seen most of what it'll see in the form of freezing rain already, but still something to keep a close eye on. By about 10 a.m., temps will be warm enough that everything that falls melts, but a few locations have the potential to pick up a bit of ice early on this morning. It's everywhere that you see in pink. And everywhere in that crosshatch pink has the possibility of seeing a little of it, so we are going to keep a close eye on that. Temperatures go from below freezing to above freezing by about 9 or 10 a.m. this morning. By then, we should be warm enough to melt what falls as a frozen bit of precipitation. But even then, we're going to keep a close eye on it because it's a somewhat active weekend. Cloudy tomorrow and a bit of a wintry mix again early Sunday.
We'll join him, Jeremy, in just a little bit for that full forecast. But right now, of course, thousands of people across the inland northwest still waking up without power.
Yeah, it's been 2 days now. So when are they supposed to come back on here? So right now, Vista is working to restore power to 27,000 customers. Here's the question everyone wants to know. Most power is expected to be restored by tomorrow, but in some cases, especially in rural areas, it could take a little longer.
Inland Power and Light is also reporting a little more than 2,000 outages. Most of those are in Spokane County. If you would like to report an outage, we've got the number on your screen right now. You can call that to also report downed power lines at that same number.
Meanwhile, Kootenai Electric is reporting just under 5,000 outages this morning. You can see those there on your screen. Those stretch from the Coeur d'Alene area all the way up to Bayview. Of course, these numbers are changing quickly, so for updates, you can text outages to 509-448-2000, and we'll send you links to the outage maps right to your phone. And this morning, we do have several school closures to report. This is due to some ongoing power and damage issues. Most, though, are individual schools within districts. So closed today is the Medical Lake School District, also Roosevelt and Wilson Elementary Schools in Spokane, Venture High School and Hayden Meadows Elementary School in Coeur d'Alene, and Evergreen Elementary in the Meade School District. Students who are still without power at home are excused from distance learning, and all schools, by the way, will be closed Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Now, this morning, the city of Spokane is also under a civil emergency. Mayor Nadine Woodward made the declaration following Wednesday's deadly windstorm. It frees up resources to bring in extra cleanup crews. And if you need help with debris in Spokane, you can dial 311. Now, due to the pandemic, the Red Cross is unable to establish warming centers, but there are services that can help. We have more of those details coming up this morning in just a few minutes.
Well, Kootenai County also adopted an emergency declaration this morning. It will remain in place until all utilities are restored and crews clean up enough debris. Of course, you can call the number at the bottom of your screen if you have any issues. Of course, we should mention this is for non-emergency questions.
It is 7:05 this morning, and right now the number of downed trees across Spokane this morning continues to climb into the hundreds. And the City of Spokane's Parks and Recreation Department is already working on a plan to restore the damaged areas across the city. I reached out to the director of Spokane City Parks and Rec, Garrett Jones, who told me just in the devastation of Comstock Park alone, Spokane lost more than 50 trees and thousands of combined years of history.
But it's tough to see a lot of these ponderosa pines go down. You know, that's our city tree, and that is some of the beauty of our parks as well. You know, this great old growth trees, and it hits you right in the heart when you see this type of natural disaster happen in our area.
Now or years from now, Jones says the city will work to restore as much of its natural beauty as possible. That includes even the possibility of adding some more diversity when it comes to nearby trees and shrubbery and other landscaping across the city. But Jones says it's a twofold approach. It's not just about restoring and renewing the beauty of our area, but also making sure there's a strong plan in place should something like this happen again. And he says Parks and Rec generally budgets about $500 to $600 in replanting per tree. So choosing the right plan to restore Spokane is key.
Is not only how do we plan for the future from the design and landscape perspective, and then operationally as well. I mean, to see these storms happen within, you know, a 5 to 6 year time frame is very unusual, but also we need to prepare for the future. Because, you know, it could happen again, and we want to make sure that we do everything in our power to be prepared.
Right now, Jones says about 95% of all their funding will go toward helping get local parks and landscaping safe again. He says if you see any issue nearby, again, as a reminder, you can report it at 311. But he also says moving forward, if you would like to help out, whether it's replacing or restoring Spokane down the line, he says the Parks and Rec Department is always open to new ideas from the people who call Spokane home. And while we're on the subject, our own Tim Fan is checking out the parks right now to see how they look. Traveling around our area this morning. Tim, good morning. Tell us where you're at and tell us what it looks like for you.
Hey, good morning, Joshua. Yeah, this morning we're at Corbin Park. This park actually wasn't hit that hard. You know, we keep it real here on Up with KREM. We tell it like it is. Just some down branches here, but no major trees. One of the reasons is maple trees are the dominant tree here at Corbin Park. And so these ones are a little bit shorter and a little bit more sturdy, so they didn't take as big of a hit as the trees at Comstock Park did. Obviously, that park now closed because dozens of trees toppled over at Comstock Park, and parks officials, they're worried about the danger of some potentially leaning trees and branches that could fall. That's why the park is closed right now. So the city is really still asking people to just keep away from parks if at all possible until they can assess the damage and then mitigate the risk before they open it back up to the public. So we're going to be checking out other parks throughout the morning. Stay with us on the CW22, and we'll let you know what conditions are like at that park. Live in Spokane, I'm Tim Pham. Back to you.
Well, the oldest church in Coeur d'Alene was damaged in the 2021 windstorm that we just experienced. Now, this morning, it does stand free from that tree, but we were there for the moment it was removed. And we heard from the community that is breathing a sigh of relief now that it's off the church.
And this morning, National Guard members from the Pacific Northwest are heading to Washington, D.C. Up ahead, 3 stories to know leading up to Inauguration Day.